All right, I got my hand on the TA cover here that I'm reworking for Kyle, and I just realized the casting numbers on these guys are the same. This is a suspected Silver Seal cover, so this means this was probably bought from Silver Seal or cast from Silver Seal, and they're coming from the same foundry probably with these numbers, probably. Here's what TA does. Obviously, they put those 3 screws in there to keep that front seal from blowing out. If your front seal blows out, usually you have too much crankcase pressure. Of course, you have their part number right there. If you flip it over, again, they look pretty identical. Down to the tabs, they're there. They do mill a spot right here. Not milled there. Other than that, they're fairly identical. Now here's where it gets good. You look down in here, that's a teeny tiny 9/32 hole. That is a huge hole, and it's been radiused. You also see evidence of a end mill going in there with some work done inside there with nothing there. So now we flip it up. I haven't pulled the gear out yet because I have to file the shaft to get the to not ruin that bore. And first of all, you can see there's milling marks on this. So that means it's been milled. This one here, there are no milling marks. Look at this cavity. It's been opened up. This cavity has not. Look at this cavity. Look down there at that cavity. It's huge. That's what you're paying for, guys. You're paying for somebody to do that work for you. That's where the oil pressure, really not pressure, the oil volume and flow is what we're looking for. We're looking for pressure, but we're also looking for volume and flow. That's what makes these covers superior. They also take and mill this off. Sometimes they rub. They use adjustable oil pressure regulator, which, careful of these, sometimes they leak. I've never used them. They just take a screw and drill it and tap it. This will not control your idle oil pressure. This controls the pressure at which the pressure relief valve opens. This is the pressure relief valve. Pressure relief valve goes in here, like so. It controls the cracking pressure of that valve, generally 60 psi spring. So you can tweak it. Does it affect the curve through the engine? I don't know. Probably does. Much like a line pressure spring in transmission, it probably does. Here is the thrust plate. A lot of people on the internet talking about thrust plates are garbage. Well, here's one with a thrust plate that works just fine. It wasn't leaking. The key is the thrust plate must be flat. Hand lap them, whatever. This is probably a milling thrust plate. Milling thrust plates require work to be made flat. Look, right there. Okay? When setting the oil pump clearance, we're only setting the oil pump clearance to the tightest spot. So if this is at 2000s, where is this? Is that at 3 or 4? Where is this? Is that at 4 or 5? We don't know. This is why you want this plate flat. You want your gears flat. You want the depth in your pocket to be perpendicular with the surface. That way it's true. Are we going to get it perfect? No. GM gives a spec of 2 to 6 thousandths for end play, and they give a spec, I want to say, of 3 to 5 thousandths for side clearance. Maybe a little less. I'd have to look it up. Generally 3 thousandths on the side clearance. Generally 1.5 to 2 to 2.5 on the end play. So this is a good cover. It's going to get reworked, cleaned. I'm not going to have to machine inside the cover. Just going to go through and bless it, clean it up. We're not putting a used cover on a fresh engine. I'm going to change the thrust plate to one of my thrust plates, which are flat. Re-blueprint it. Keep these gaskets as a starting point. That gasket doesn't matter. This gasket does. I'm going to measure it. I should be able to go back with the same gasket unless the variance is in this plate. So that's a TA cover. You get your hands on a TA cover, go for it. They're good stuff. Mike chimed in the other night and said they're working on them. So hopefully he's going to have them available for complete people who want to bolt them up, or for people like myself who want to build them themselves. Aftermarket cover, Usually that's the best one to go with. Other than that, GM cover. The rest of them,